Thanks and welcome to the 6:15 News. I'm Kejang Henry Atimbi. Let's begin with our top stories. Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, Ferdinand Gongo, received by Chadian strongman Mahamat Idris Deby Itno. The visit comes on the sidelines of the diplomatic standoff between Cameroon and Chad over the Chad-Cameroon pipeline petroleum project. And double murder in Makak, that is in the central region of the country, where a man killed the wife and another man suspected to be the lover of the wife. The man is reported to have butchered the victims with a machete in a farmyard. These were top stories.
Canal International. Canal International.
To join me, I'm Kejang Henry Atimbi. Another detestable crime seen this time. It is in Makak, and another man suspected to be having an affair with the wife. Now, the said wife had left the marital home over violence and traveled to the parents' village in Ngwate for 2 months. But due to the marital violence, but the husband actually embarked on a 20-kilometer journey to end it all. Beatrice Nkamu reports.
Family members in shock and disbelief as they watch the 2 lifeless bodies exposed at the site of the scene. The 2, Micheline Ngo Biyaga and Lucien Xavier Mbalamani, killed using a machete Sunday night, breaking Monday at Ngwate village. The sad news, a wake-up alarm, and all who heard had to confirm with their eyes. The villagers then transported the corpse to the Makak gendarmerie post after a day of wait with no answer. The supposed murderer, the husband of Micheline, a driver by profession, after the deadly act, packed his 2 cars at the gendarmerie and presented self and left. He presented self at the gendarmerie brigade, said nothing more. The fact was ascertained. This as the crowd was already making their way to the gendarmerie. The atmosphere very tensed. Not easy to calm the angry population as the gendarmerie and administrative authorities play peace advocate. The first investigation reveals crime of passion. She loved her husband, but every time there is a marital problem, there are often wounds all over her body, as she always complained at the gendarmerie. The man, called Dubeng Sang, even had a prison term lately by the public prosecutor of Ezeka. The lady in question had abandoned her marital home for the village where she was supervising work for the creation of a palm project by a brother out of the country. The man killed a sewer she recruited became her lover in this deadly adventure.
Very unfortunate indeed. Thanks very much, Beatrice Nkamu. The Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, Ferdinand Gongo, was received today by Chadian strongman Mahamat Idris Deby Itno. Now, the visit comes on the sidelines of a diplomatic standoff between Cameroon and Chad over the Chad-Cameroon pipeline petroleum project. Ferdinand Gongo carried a sealed message along to the Cameroonian, to President Idris Deby Itno, coming from President Paul Biya. But we'll be back with updates of that visit. Meantime, the Secretary General is reported to have flown back to Cameroon. And ever since the government took the decision to increase the minimum wage, Cameroonians say that the employers of the private sector are still to take that into consideration. And on the build-up to the International Labour Day, we asked the question how these workers of the private sector with the minimum wage of about 45,000 are coping in some of the major metropolis in the country. Ambo Gladys Diba reports.
The increase in the minimum wage from 36,000 to 41,875 francs CFA to many is still not a solution to the inflationary situation in Cameroon. Social observers say coping with that amount is impossible, especially in major metropolis.
The minimum wage is relatively low in Cameroon. Salaries are low. It's difficult to cope with paying house rents, feeding, school fee for children. It's important that this minimum wage be increased, just like in neighboring countries where minimum wages for workers are higher. Cameroon has the potential to remunerate its workers well.
The high cost of living cannot permit a worker with a minimum wage in Cameroon to live decently. I take the example of a housemaid who has children and a husband. I don't think with the minimum wage she can take care of the children's education, their fees, feeding, healthcare, and have a decent house.
The current minimum wage given to workers is encouraging, but it's not sufficient to cover the living expenditures of many workers today. You can imagine that the cost of many goods and services are increasing.
To lighten the burden on the population, experts suggest government needs to take other measures.
We need to look at possibility of subsidizing transport costs, accommodations, and even living expenditure. Formal sectors are not given opportunity to be able to stay in this job. We'll find most of them jumping in the informal sector, where we have approximately 71% of our economy being found.
It's been close to 3 months since government increased the minimum wage, but some workers in the private sector who elected anonymity say the increase has not been implemented.
And to the build-up to Labour Day, many Cameroonians are expected to be knighted on May 1, 2023 with Labour medals. These recognitions are attached, really worthless to have a medal, whereas there are those who are very anxious to receive these medals on Labour Day. Now, Maureen D comes back to the worth of a medal.
Martina works in a real estate company in Douala. After working for 12 years of service, described as enormous sacrifices, hard work and endurance, she was finally recognized for her relentless efforts.
I think I merit a medal because it's not easy. It's not easy to work with a company for 12 years. And I'm sure I'm competent for the work, because if that wasn't the case, I wouldn't have been here up to this moment.
The smile of an accomplished worker, as one can read the smile from a prudent distance. Conversely, the case with this other lady who rubbish medal awards, saying it's worthless. To her, a majority of workers in Cameroon live in misery as they work in deplorable conditions, with many going for months without salaries. She questions the essence of a medal.
Our environment, workers are not the working condition. It's not the best.
Most of the workers are not valued, because when you live, especially at the living conditions today, you pity some of them.
Martina shares the same views. The valorization of workers, which does not come often, should go beyond just a simple medal. Workers deserve more, she emphasized. This lady at the governor's office is in charge of facilitating medal awards if Cameroonians comply within criteria and follow procedure. It's a simple procedure. You just need to apply, compile certain documents, including a photocopy of your ID card. At least you must have spent 10 years working in a company. You are ripe enough to apply for a medal. But most often individuals apply for these medals because most companies have failed to do so. So they apply and their companies now award them with the medals. She tells me the same medals could be withdrawn from a worker if he presents an unholy behavior or acts of indecency. Just like last year, the same rituals would be done this year, 2023. But again, many keep asking, what's the added value after that?
And the Northwest Regional Assembly has adopted a 5-year development plan to speed up development growth in the region. That was during the 10th ordinary session of the Regional Assembly that took place in the chief town of the Northwest region, Bamenda. And of course, present were representatives of the House of Chief. Sherifa Saleh reports with calls from our chief correspondent in the Northwest, Anya Collins.
The Northwest Regional Assembly has adopted a 5-year development plan to speed up growth in the region. During its 10th ordinary session held in Bamenda recently, members of the House of Divisional Representatives and of the House of Chiefs were presented the project intended to turn the region around.
Every division, every subdivision, every village will find something in it. And all the sectors that were devolved to the region. You know that of these sectors, we've had our competencies from 5 sectors already.
Also in the attendance were some mayors and parliamentarians who took a critical look into the allocation of projects, especially as the region is turning green.
The transport fare from Babena to Adet, a distance of 45 kilometers, is between 10,000 and 15,000 because of the very bad road. So I ask the regional council to put that into consideration when they are implementing other acts.
With barely 5 ministries having devolved powers to local councils, this could explain the snail-paced work to achieve much-awaited goals.
Recently, we gave them 100 million, the councils, to carry out projects in their council areas. And we, the divisional delegates, we oversee the process to see that 100 million is judiciously used. And also to evaluate and look at their decentralization process. That is, the laws governing decentralization are actually respected.
On behalf of the state, the chief executive brushed a panoramic look of society with peace as baseline.
Each and everyone should ask himself this question: what has been my contribution in this assembly and on the spot towards its endeavor to consolidate peace and development in my constituency, in particular, and the region as a whole.
These pioneer members of the Regional Assembly will soon be midway into their 5-year mandate, after which they shall be judged by the people.
And from the 1st of May 2023, applicants of visas into Cameroon can obtain them within 72 hours, and that will be done online. This information has been revealed to the press by the Minister of External Relations, Lejeune Mbela. Beatrice Ngamo reports.
The long-term vision to modernize Cameroon's consular services enters into force on the first day of next month.
As from May 1st, 2023, applicants may obtain an entry visa in Cameroon within 72 hours.
The online visa issuance procedure entails online pre-registration, payment of visa fee, processing of the application, affixing the visa sticker. The added value of the reform includes making life easier for users, addressing diaspora concern regarding cumbersome bureaucracy and cost and validity. Validity covers short-stay visas of 6 months and long-term visa for 12 months. Visa fees has been harmonized also. 100,000 for short-stay visa and 150,000 for express short-stay, that is 6 months respectively. Ordinary long-stay term, 12 months at 150,000 and express long-term stay at 200,000. This as transit visa for maximum period of 5 days remain free of charge. Henceforth, all visa applications shall be processed by diplomatic missions and consular posts only.
I think it's a very, very quick and nice and positive step, and to speed up the extension of a visa. So it can only be good for the applicant, but also be very good for Cameroon.
The content of a press briefing this Tuesday in Yaoundé, after discussion with members of the diplomatic corps prior to the official launch.
And today is commemorated as the World Day for Intellectual Property Rights. They set aside to raise awareness on the importance of safeguarding copyright. Now, how important is this day? Haisicha takes a look.
It doesn't suffice to create an intellectual property like trademarks, logos, business designs, theories, slogans, and others, but ensuring the protection of copyrights is of great benefit to the creator.
C'est d'abord la renommée qui va même au-delà
You gain recognition for the mark created, a new name that goes beyond your territory. You gain money for such originalities. Others have to pay for using your creativity. You gain posterity as well. The mark lives on after you.
Elles continuent de vivre aujourd'hui au travers de ce qu'elles ont laissé comme produit sur le marché.
To claim such copyright, the individual must embark on the legalization procedures following key steps.
Vous déposez déjà un dossier constitué à l'OAPI.
You deposit a document at the African Organization for Intellectual Property with your new mark. The expertise is examined, ensuring that it is original, making sure no one has deposited it before. You are delivered a certificate to permit you protect what you have invented.
Créé alors que vous avez inventé.
The protection and control of an intellectual property is bounded by both national and international legal framework. Experts have equally urged the government to tighten measures of protecting such creativity to enable the initiators enjoy the fruits of their intelligence.
And that report drew the curtain for this edition of the 650 News. Mike John Henry Atimbe, we thank you for being there with us. And of course, coming up would be Liu Pijo with Le Débrief de l'Actualité. From all of us, it's goodbye.